Hello, my name is Penny. Welcome to our video today. Today we're going to give a short and brief explanation about how to use props or adaptations in your yoga practice. I know a lot of us want to really enjoy yoga. It looks like, really hard when you see somebody do a forward fold and they're laying on their thighs, or when you see somebody do the splits and they're all the way to the ground and you're thinking, oh, there's no way I can do that, so I'm not going to bother. But I'm going to give you a couple of adaptations that you can do for any yoga class. So let's go ahead and have a seat on our mat. When you sit down on your mat, sometimes you're thinking, okay, I feel really high or super uncomfortable here, or my back feels rounded. Anytime that happens, you can take a folded up blanket or even a pillow, just depending on what you have, and just sit up on the edge of that pillow where it's going to tip your hips slightly forward, giving you that more elongated spine. And you're just going to pull your abdominals in. And this could be your meditation pose, as opposed to feeling like you're too far down. So there's an adaptation there that you can always do. I know a lot of times if I'm tight, I'll sit up on a blanket, or if I'm doing a long meditation, it's nice to sit up on a blanket and it really helps your back. So you just want to sit up on the edge of the blanket, not necessarily here, because that doesn't really help the tilt of your hips, which is what you're looking for. And if you need more of a tilt of the hips, you can always go to something a little bit bigger, like a regular bolster, which would be a little bit taller. This isn't necessarily better than using a blanket. It is going to make you taller and might make some people a little more comfortable. You're still going to be on the edge of your pillow. So you're just going to sit here. You can close your eyes, straighten your back, pull in your abdominals, and you can do a plethora of stretches from here. So why don't we just do a couple as we're thinking about that right now? Let's go ahead and work on some neck flexibility while we're here. So come to sit on a bolster, on your glutes, or even on top of the edge of a blanket. And one more thing before we move on, you can also sit on your block, but you're always just going to be on the edge. So for the neck, let's just take our head to the right, and our abdominals in, our back is straight, and this is good just right here. Now you can turn and get another stretch if you just lower your jaw down towards your shoulder, and you can even turn up towards the sky and down towards your shoulder, getting a really nice juicy stretch in this left side of your neck. Just a really nice stretch. Now, if you want more of a stretch, you can take this left hand and place it on your floor beside you. And if it doesn't fit your floor, you can just kind of reach out or just kind of grasp towards the floor. Take that right hand and just place it on the side of your neck and just take a couple of nice breaths here. Breathe in again. And one more time, just breathe in. Exhale, and then just bring your head back up into the right position. Hands go back to your knees or your lap, whatever you're comfortable with. So let's do this on the other side, because we don't want to walk around uneven, right? So go ahead and just drop your head to your left shoulder. And do that same thing. Look down towards your fingers and then up towards the ceiling and down towards your fingers, up towards your ceiling. And just one more time like that. And go ahead and just lay your ear towards your left shoulder, which is kind of a nice stretch, a nice juicy stretch on that right side. If you want more of a stretch, take that right hand and just kind of grasp towards the floor. If you're on a bolster, the floor is going to be further. If you're not, that's going to be a little closer, but you just want kind of a nice reach. And then take that left hand and place it on top of your head, just where your little horns would be if you had any horns or antlers. And just take a breath in and exhale, relax into that stretch. Breathe in again. Relax into that stretch. And one more time. And relax into that stretch. Always kind of just pull those shoulders, just relax them down. And now go ahead, you can even help your head up so it's sitting in that right place again. And this position, sitting on top of this bolster or on top of the edge of a blanket, just feels really nice to keep a nice straight back. And at that time, you could even roll your wrists to kind of get them warmed up for your yoga practice. It's really important to roll your wrists. So let's bring our palms out, fingers down. Take your right hand and just kind of give a nice little traction on that left hand, opening up the wrists. And now some of our flow practices, we do this in cat-cow, but we're going to do this in the seated position today. Just take some nice breaths. And breathe in and exhale. And one more time. And exhale. And then just kind of shake that out, right? So let's go ahead and take that right hand, put it like palm up, and then just flex your fingers down towards the floor. Take that left hand and just kind of lightly traction. Anytime you're doing these practices, always be kind to yourself. So when you wonder how many breaths should you take, let's just go ahead and take 3 really nice breaths. So take a breath in, and then exhale. Breathe in again. Exhale. And one more time. And exhale. And then just shake that wrist off. Do some wrist circles. If that ever hurts when you're doing that, either don't stretch as much or just don't do that stretch. Everything is supposed to be relatively pain-free. You know, you just want to feel maybe a little tension, but not pain. So the next thing we're going to do is kind of relax our shoulders a little bit since we did some stuff for our wrists. So we're just going to roll them up by our ears and then roll them back. So roll them up with a breath in and exhale. Breathe in, exhale, and breathe in again and exhale. Let's go ahead and just roll them forward now. You can leave your hands on your lap, so breathe in and roll forward. Breathe in, exhale forward, and one more time. Exhale forward, and this time just lift your shoulders up to your ears. Take a nice breath in. When you exhale, just drop them like they're hot. There you go. One more time, bring them up to your ears. Exhale, drop them like they're hot. Yeah, just get all that kind of shoulder tension out. So next thing we can do from the seated position is just some really nice gentle twists. So take your right hand, put it on your right knee or on your thigh. Take your left hand and slide it behind you. You can take your head and just turn towards that left side. And just take 3 nice easy breaths. No straining. Breathe in and exhale. Breathe in again. Exhale. And one more time. And exhale. Now, as you take a breath in, come back to center. Always kind of put yourself back in that center position. And then pulling your abdominals in slightly, take your left hand, put it on your right knee, your right hand behind you. And just as you take a breath in, exhale and turn towards that left side. No straining, abdominals are still being used. And turn your head. Eyes will move last. And breathe in. Exhale 1. Breathe in again. Exhale 2. And one more time. And exhale 3. And then come back to center and just kind of reorient yourself. So we're going to take our lovely bolster away, and you're going to miss it as soon as you're like on the floor. It's like, argh. But we're going to do some sushi grinds. And sushi grinds to me are always better done off the bolster, but you can try it both ways. So put your hands just right on your knees, and it doesn't matter which direction you're going to go, but as you take a breath in, you're going to go forward. And as you exhale, you're going to go back. So breathe in as you go forward. And exhale. Breathe in again. Exhale. One more time. And exhale. Let's go the other direction. Take a breath in. And exhale. Breathe in again. And exhale. And one more time. And exhale. So since this is a stability class kind of focused on props, we're going to go up into what would be generally called a hero's pose. And we're going to use a block for that. So go ahead and go up on your knees. And you can have a seat in hero's pose, but what we're going to do for this purpose is just go ahead and have a seat on your block if you have one, which is going to be really nice because it's going to take off some of that pressure on your knees, right? And if that's not comfortable, you just take the block away because that's completely up to you, whatever is comfortable. And you can just kind of have a seat here and do your meditation from this point. Since we've done a meditation so far today, we're just going to do some juicy side bends. So take your right hand and place it on the floor. Take your left hand and bring it to the ceiling. Follow your left hand with your eyes. And then go ahead and as you exhale, follow your left hand all the way to the right. So you're making a nice kind of a C. Breathe in. You can turn your eyes to the ceiling and take 3 really nice breaths here. So breathe in. Exhale 1. Breathe in. Exhale 2. And breathe in. Exhale 3. And then you're just going to come back to center. Now, if this prop doesn't work for you, and it doesn't work for everybody, you can just go back to just sitting on your hero's pose without a prop, just on your knees. So since we're showing props, I'm going to put mine right back there. Take our abdominals in, go to the second side. Put your left hand down on the floor. Take your right arm up. Follow your right arm with your eyes. And just go as far as you're comfortable to that left side. You can bend this left arm just a little bit. And take a breath in. Push it through those left fingers so that you're making more of an arc. And exhale. Breathe in again. And exhale. And one more time. And exhale. And just go ahead and bring your hands down. So anytime you feel like getting down on your knees is uncomfortable when you're in hero's pose, you can always use a block. So I'm going to take this block away and show you just a couple of more fun things that we can do with props. So let's say you're in your seated position, and we're going to just do a forward fold from that position. I'm going to face you. You can do yours on the mat. And so you're going to take your legs out in front of you in your forward fold. Just kind of shake them out, get some of that tension out of there a little bit. Just kind of bring your toes and just kind of move those toes around a little bit since you've been sitting on your feet. And there's a couple of ways to do a forward fold that's going to be really safe on your back and your knees. One of them is to either roll up a towel or a blanket and place that underneath your knees. And that's going to take out that need for that straightening your legs, which might cause some low back pain. Or we can always go right to back to sitting on the edge of our blanket, which would also give you a really nice tilt for that hip. And then you can kind of come forward. So knees can be bent, hips can be up. But what you don't want to do is be like flopping in your back unless you're doing a yin class. And you definitely don't want there to be any pain. But anytime you sit on the blanket, you sit on the edge. And you're like moving forward, and this is great. But let's say your toes are like all the way over here. Instead of straining, you can always take any kind of a band and wrap that around your toes. Then you keep your back straight. And just kind of wrap that around your hands a little bit. Take a breath in and go forward. This way you're not straining to like reach your toes, because it's not all about getting to your toes. It's about going in the direction from nose to toes. So take a breath in. Exhale 1. Breathe in again. Exhale 2. And one more time. And exhale. Now go ahead and use your hands to bring yourself up. Take your strap. Keep it with you if you'd like. Take that left leg in and just kind of bend it so it's going towards your groin. Right leg is going to be out just slightly. And here we are again. You can, like I said, sit up on your bolster, which is what I'm going to do, or on your blanket, excuse me, and go ahead and just reach for your toes. You want to keep your back straight, and sitting on the blanket will keep that tilt in your hip, which will keep you safe. If you can't reach your toes or it's uncomfortable, maybe this is the pose for you, and that's okay. Just take that strap and then just go forward, pulling the strap towards you. So anytime that you want a little bit of an extra stretch, but you don't want to hurt yourself, or maybe you can't reach it, you can use your strap. So take a breath in. Exhale 1. Breathe in again. Exhale 2. And one more time. And exhale 3. So here's just, this one we're still doing nose to toes. When you get into like a yin, which I promise we'll get into more, we'll do more of a rounding. But for right now, we're just going to keep our abdominals pulled a little bit and our back straight. So go ahead and bring that right foot in. Take the left foot out to the angle. Pull your abdominals in. And you know, we all have issues. We all have like some injuries. And sometimes, you know, on one side we're like Gumby, on the other side we're like, we can't reach that. And that's the side that you might want to do an extra breath on, that extra tight side, just to get a little more stability. You might even like put a block under here just to kind of save that hamstring, or a rolled up towel, right? So we're still going to use the strap. Now, if you can just reach your toes or just your hands beside you and you don't need the strap, that's great. You know, don't use it. Or if you like using it, I like using it even though, you know, it isn't always necessary. So take a breath in. And as you exhale, go from nose to toes. And breathe in again. And exhale. And one more time. Exhale. And last time. And exhale. Come back up. Take your strap away. And we're going to do one more of the seated poses before I show you a nice, fun way to use props for your Shavasana. So for this one, everybody just rub your feet just a little bit. I'm a huge fan of massage, so just kind of rub your feet, kind of warm up your ankles a little bit, and then put your feet together in Baddha Konasana, which is a kind of a really nice hip opening pose. And if your feet are tight, give them a little extra love. You kind of open your feet up like books. And then you can bring your feet, your heels closer to the groin or further out. It's just going to depend on what you like. You want to keep your back straight. That's why I'm still sitting on top of this blanket. And for here, we're going to show you a way you can use props in your forward fold. That's kind of really nice. You can do a couple things. For this one here, we're just going to come forward but we feel like maybe our hips are up here and they're feeling super uncomfortable, take a block, if you have them and you want to use them, you don't have to, remember, they're always optional, and just kind of put them underneath your legs here by your knees. Take a breath in and then just come forward. Now, depending on what your goal is, so today we're just keeping our backs flat and straight as we can, but not every day is going to be that way. But today, for that purposes, we're going to just kind of grab our toes a little bit and just come forward and take a breath in and exhale. Breathe in again and exhale. And one more time and exhale. Come back up. Now I'm going to show you one more stretch before we go into Shavasana. I know I told you I'd just show you that last one, but this one is just going to be a wide-legged fold. So take your legs all the way out and then just kind of sit up into them. Use your block if you'd like, or you can use your folded blanket. Anything that kind of gives you that extra tilt, especially if you're super tight, because most of us are a little bit tight. Pull your toes in so you have some type of activation in your feet. And for this purpose, we're just going to come forward. Now, when we come forward, what we are doing for this purpose is just coming forward. Now, let's say you can bring your elbows down. That's great. But not everybody can, and they don't really need to. So what you really can do is just come forward with a bolster and just kind of reach that. And if you're up here, that's fine too. It's really nice to have some type of blanket under your hips. So let's just go a little forward, whatever you want to do. Put your arms on your block or on the floor, whatever is more comfortable. What you don't want to do is overstrain. You don't necessarily want to bring your toes in. So take a breath in. And exhale, just go forward. Breathe in again. And exhale. Now my eyes are kind of looking about 4 feet in front of me, so not just directly down. I'm not dropping my head. We're keeping the head kind of up with the spine. Breathe in one more time. And exhale. Walk back up to the top of your mat. Put your bolster down. Just help your feet come back in and just kind of shake them out. I'm going to show you a couple of really nice ways to do a nice bolstered Shavasana. So for this particular one, this one's just going to be a nice one for opening up our chest. So this one is going to be bolstered. You're going to take a bolster right behind your back, if you have one, and another one just at a T right behind your head. And just take your legs, and instead of dropping to the floor, first we're just going to bring our knees in. And this is the Shavasana you can do if you're comfortable with it. Or you can straighten your legs out, roll your feet in, and then just drop them open, and that could be your Shavasana. So if you have blocks or a bolster, go ahead and use that. If you don't, you can just go ahead and lay on your blanket, because most of us have a blanket, and bring that edge of your blanket right to the top of your hips. And I'm just going to have this folded so it just comes to my shoulders to kind of give that nice opening of the chest. And just let my head kind of fall and just give a nice shoulder off the blanket. So take your arms and you can just put them out to the side because you're kind of wanting to open up that chest. And no matter how you are, whether you're on the blanket or you're on the blocks, take a breath in and exhale. Breathe in again. For those that are interested in, and just go ahead and stay in your Shavasana. Anybody who wanted to see how this looks like with a larger bolster, which is another really nice way to do it, you're going to take that bolster to your hips, and then you're just going to lay back on it, and then just open up your chest. So breathe in again, and exhale, close your eyes. Thank yourself for coming and working and trying to see how these bolsters would work for you. Leave any comments if you have any questions. If you like videos like this that show you how to use props, just go ahead and leave a comment and we'll work on some more with these props. Now, if you can stay in Shavasana, please go ahead, stay right there. If not, go ahead and roll off of the blanket or the bolster, whatever you have, onto your side into a very nice, tight little bow. Push yourself up to a seated position. Grab whichever prop that you like sitting on the edge of. My favorite is this big bolster. Close your arms. Close your eyes. Put your hands in prayer. We're going to do one sound of Om, one sound of peace. Take a breath in. Exhale. Breathe in for Om. Om. Thank you so much for coming. This is Han again. For anybody who's just seen the dog walk in here. Namaste. You have a blessed and lovely day. Be good to yourselves and each other. Namaste.